Check this out, guys. We got the driver's side rocker panel here that we took off the other day, and I actually just installed these universal side skirt extensions. So these are 3 pieces. This middle piece is actually designed so that you cut it to length depending on what car you're putting it on, and it's got this little fin on the back. So I just finished cutting it to size and attaching it. Here's all the hardware on the bottom. As usual, this came with self-tappers, but I threw those all away, and we are instead using these 1/4-inch bolts that are about 1 inch long, and nuts on the other side of these. So this is all fastened up now and ready to go back on the car, and then I'm just gonna kind of show you the process of how I'm going to be doing the other side now that I know what to expect after doing this side. So there's a few different ways you can do this when it comes to measuring and cutting this middle piece. What I'm doing, since I already have one side figured out, is I'm just tracing it and converting it over to the other side. But what I kind of did earlier was just kind of float these into position and then make a marking of where I needed the final length to be pretty much. Then I made the line on here, and this comes with a little metal bracket that you actually put on here, and you're supposed to use it as a guide for a hacksaw. So I got my guide and my hacksaw over there, and now that I have my mark on here, I'm going to go ahead and cut this middle piece down to size, and then we'll be able to mock it up together and see how it fits. Here is our center piece that is now cut to size. There's the extra pieces we no longer need. There's the hacksaw we used to cut it, and there's the metal bracket guide that we used to kind of hold the hacksaw in position while we cut it away. What we're going to do now is kind of line everything up, get it into position before we start drilling the holes. So we have our front roughly in position. We got the clamp holding it in place for now. Then we're going to interlock these 2 pieces together, and then there's this little hardware in here, these little screws and washers that are going to hold these pieces together. So we got the front, middle, and then we're going to put the end on, and then we're going to see how it all lines up and how the position is, and then we're going to start drilling our 1/4-inch holes and start putting our hardware in. So here's what we have for starters. We have the front and back clamped down. We got the individual pieces put together by the mini hardware, and then the first 2 holes and hardware I actually used to connect this to the actual side skirt is right here and on the other one. So this not only ensures that these individual pieces stay together, but also they stay together and then also get bolted to the car. So from here it's just going to be drilling up and down the entire length of this side skirt extension and then putting the hardware on. And here's what the other side looks like. So we're using bolts, washers, and nuts to secure this to the car. And here is the final product. We have hardware, bolts, nuts, and washers along the entire length of this side skirt extension. So this will make sure it's super strong, and it'll be a lot less likely to fall off. So we're probably going to put these back on the car tomorrow, and then I'll show you what that looks like back on the car. Okay, so I was just kidding and I actually ended up putting on both rockers back on the car. So here is the driver's side, and if we come around, here is the passenger side, which they look pretty weird at stock height right now, but don't worry, whenever these coilovers come in, we're going to make sure we put these on the ground.